Good Friday morning. It's time for another weekly update. So it's been actually a couple weeks since I did this. I was in London for some work for the business here, and then the last week has been pretty crazy trying to get some parts together and to get some things ready to ship. So I want to show you a little bit about what's been happening, and then we'll take a look at the lathe. We finally got it under power. So these are what we call georods. They're seismic sensors that are used when you can't get good coupling into the ground, specifically places like Antarctica, which is where these are heading. And the Antarctic field season is coming up, so we have to get these out very quickly, but our Geophones supplier has been pretty slow. Originally we were supposed to get the parts in 4 weeks, and then it turned into 11. It looks like we should have them in next week and we can finish these up. But you can see there's a lot of work. These are machined bodies. These strain reliefs have to get threaded in, and then a wire put in, and on the other end of the wire, all of the connectors. So these are big clips. And then we still have to put the geophones in and then actually pot them or epoxy them so it's one solid piece. So that involves mixing a 2-component epoxy and putting it in a vacuum chamber to degas it, and then pouring it in there. So we still have a long ways to go, and that's going to be a lot of what's going on in the next week or so here. Now we've got some workbenches. They're finally kind of arranged where we want them. Also some exciting news. I was able to get some help from a high school intern who has started working this week and is doing some great work. One of the first things was to design some bin dividers for these bins. We can't get them any longer. So he designed those up in Fusion 360 and cut them out on the laser in no time at all, and is helping me get all of our electronics inventory sorted and ready to go. So this is an inventory that we're going to directly sell, of course. These are individual components that we use to build things like our circuit boards and some of our products. Okay, so the other exciting thing is the lathe, which we've seen before, is now under power. So the electricians were here for 2 days. You can see it's got a pretty big power cord there that goes up to the ceiling. And we are also, exciting news, getting a new mill. So they put in these giant connectors, also coming down from the ceiling, and ran the drop. And the mill should be here in 1 to 2 weeks. That does mean that we are selling this mill. It is listed on Craigslist and on Facebook and in the Tormach operators group. So if you're looking for a Tormach mill, we are selling this one. It's only about 2 years old, and it's really pretty low hours, but we just need something that's bigger and has a tool changer. Instead of adding a tool changer to this, we decided to just go with a Haas Mini Mill 2, which isn't so mini. It still weighs about 5,000 pounds. It's quite a bit larger than this machine. Width-wise, it's not too much different, but it's much deeper. You can see how much further back that power cord is. Okay, but onto the lathe. So, as you can see, it's a pretty old system. As I said before, it boots into DOS. So we get into the system, we turn the servos on, or we turn the emergency stops off first. Turn the servos on. And in here, it's got these scales. So we have to get the needles in the right position between those first 2 marks. And then there's another scale that's very hard to see back behind that window. And we have to do the same with it. So to do that, I'm just jogging with this joystick here. And then we tell it to establish its home position. So that's so the machine knows where it is. I'm doing that now. It's referencing the 2 axes, and now it's done. So now the machine knows where it is. We can do things like what's called MDI, our manual data input. So this lets us issue commands like MO3 S100 is turn the spindle on clockwise at 100 RPM, and then we hit cycle start, and our spindle's turning. We can also issue commands, so an M05 stops the spindle. Also, we had a coolant rep come by, so I decided to go with Blaser coolants for the lathe and the mill. So the rep came by and filled the lathe up, and when the new mill gets here, he'll come by and fill it up for me. So an M08 turns on the coolant pump on this machine. So this specific Blaser coolant I went with is water clear. A lot of machine coolants are kind of a milky white color or something else. This just looks like water, but it's not. It's water mixed with a 5-gallon bucket of coolant. That 5-gallon bucket's about $300, so it's not inexpensive. But this is very, very slick coolant. That also lets you kind of see what's going on, so that's nice. It's good to stir this. I'm either going to put an aquarium air pump to keep it stirred, or just have to make sure that it runs every day or so, so the coolant doesn't get stagnant and start smelling. I mean, ideally the machines are running enough that that's not a concern, but when I am gone on trips, I don't want to come back to smelly coolant in the shop that potentially has to be replaced or have some serious maintenance happen. So to turn the coolant off, we're going to go back, M09, and that gets the coolant off. The coolant itself is under the machine, so it drains down through that little chip pan into this tank down here. And so you can see there's a pump to the left side of the tank. Put a flashlight on it. So there's a pump there, and here's some of the air pressure and control electronics there. So overall, pretty excited. We've got the lathe up and running. The next step is to try to make some parts, and we've got some parts to make on it. So we'll be trying to get that done, and then the mill should be here by the next couple weekly updates, and we'll get it hooked up and going. I'm really excited about it. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week.